The Cincinnati Open was supposed to give tennis fans another classic battle between Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Instead, it ended in shock after just 22 minutes. Sinner, the world #1, was forced to retire while trailing 5-0, leaving the crowd stunned and raising big questions ahead of the US Open. From the very first game, it was clear something wasn't right. Sinner looked slow on his feet and missed routine shots, piling up unforced errors. Fans noticed him holding his side and bending down between points. After losing his serve for the third time, he walked to his chair, called for the trainers, and told them he couldn't go on. "I tried, but I can't. I'm sorry for the fans," Sinner said as he waved to the packed stadium. His voice was emotional, and you could see how frustrated he was. "Usually I start with the opponent, but today I have to start with you guys, talking about the crowd. I'm very, very sorry for all of you. I know some of you on Monday maybe had to work or do something else, so I'm very, very sorry." He explained later that he had started feeling unwell the day before, but hoped he would recover overnight. "I thought I would feel better, but it got worse," he admitted. "I tried to make it a small match, but I couldn't handle more." The retirement gave Alcaraz his first Cincinnati title, a trophy he badly wanted after losing in the 2023 final. Still, it wasn't the way he hoped to win. "I noticed Jannik wasn't feeling good," Alcaraz said. "It's not normal to see him miss like that. I just want him to recover quickly. Hopefully he'll be ready for the US Open." For Sinner, the timing couldn't be more worrying. He came into Cincinnati on a 12-match winning streak, including 26 straight wins on hard courts. He was aiming to become the first back-to-back Cincinnati champion since Roger Federer in 2015. Instead, he walked away with concern hanging over his fitness just days before he is due to defend his US Open crown. Experts watching the match suggested the problem could have been illness or fatigue, pointing out similar issues faced by Alexander Zverev earlier in the week. Some thought it might be his hip or thigh, but no official injury has been confirmed. Former doubles champion Ryan Harrison summed it up. "We hope it's just illness. The US Open is right around the corner, so recovery is the most important thing." Sinner apologized to fans again in his press statement, congratulated Alcaraz, and promised to be ready for New York. "Grand Slams are the most important tournaments for me," he said. "Now it's about a couple of days of recovery, then back to work. The US Open is the main goal." While Jannik Sinner left the Cincinnati court in tears, Carlos Alcaraz lifted the trophy he had been chasing for years. For the Spaniard, it was a victory that brought joy, but also a touch of disappointment, because he knew fans had been waiting for another thrilling battle with his biggest rival. The two have already faced off 4 times in finals this season. Each match has been a showcase of the sport's new golden rivalry. Sinner beat Alcaraz in 4 sets at Wimbledon, but Alcaraz struck back at the French Open in a 5-set thriller and again at the Rome Masters in straight sets. This final in Cincinnati was supposed to be the latest chapter in their growing saga. Instead, it ended quickly, with Sinner unable to fight at his usual level. Even so, Alcaraz celebrated the milestone. "I really wanted this trophy," he said. "I lost the final here in 2023, so it means a lot to finally win it." The win gave him a 9-5 head-to-head lead over Sinner, showing just how close and competitive their rivalry has become. With the win, Alcaraz collected his 8th ATP Masters title, the most of any active player aside from Novak Djokovic. It's another sign of just how quickly the Spaniard is cementing his legacy at the top of the game. For fans, the sudden end was bittersweet. Social media was full of messages wishing Sinner a speedy recovery, while others congratulated Alcaraz on what still counts as a big career moment. Many pointed out that rivalries in tennis are built not just on wins and losses, but on the drama of unexpected twists, and this was certainly one of them. The match also reminded everyone of how much pressure both players are under. Sinner came into Cincinnati on a 12-match winning streak, having dominated the hard courts all summer. He was trying to become the first back-to-back men's champion in Cincinnati since Roger Federer a decade ago. Alcaraz, meanwhile, had his own motivation. He wanted to show that he could bounce back from losses and prove once again that he belongs right alongside Sinner at the top of the sport. Former players and commentators highlighted how important this rivalry is for tennis right now. With Novak Djokovic struggling with injuries and nearing the end of his career, the sport is looking for new stars to carry the torch. Alcaraz and Sinner are already filling that role. Every time they step on court, fans expect fireworks, and for the most part, they deliver. In fact, many believe this rivalry could define the next decade of men's tennis, just like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic did before. Tim Henman, speaking during coverage, said, "Sinner and Alcaraz can inspire each other to new levels. They push each other in ways no one else can." The only question now is whether Sinner can recover in time for New York. Alcaraz may have the momentum from Cincinnati, but the US Open is a new stage. If Sinner is healthy, the rivalry could produce its biggest moment yet. The Cincinnati final may have ended too soon, but it set the stage for something even bigger, the US Open. With Novak Djokovic's fitness still in doubt and Rafael Nadal no longer a factor, the spotlight in New York will be brighter than ever on Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. For Sinner, the concern is obvious. Just days before he begins his US Open title defense, he was forced to retire. Fans saw him apologizing to the crowd in Cincinnati, saying he felt unwell the night before and couldn't push through more than 5 games. His words, "I'm sorry to disappoint, but sometimes it's like this," summed up both his frustration and his honesty. Now, the big question is whether he can recover in time for the 2-week grind in New York. The Italian has already confirmed he plans to play, saying recovery is the top priority and that he'll be ready. "Grand Slams are the main tournaments for me," Sinner said. "Now it's a couple of days of recovery, then back to work. The US Open is the goal." His confidence eased some fears, but with the main draw starting soon, there's no margin for setbacks. For Alcaraz, the story looks very different. The Spaniard arrives in New York with momentum and belief. Winning his first Cincinnati title was a big box ticked, and doing it against his main rival, even if by retirement, adds weight to his run of form. He already knows how to win in New York, having lifted the US Open trophy in 2022, and his game looks sharper by the week. History may also be on his side. In each of the past 2 seasons, the winners of the Cincinnati Open have gone on to triumph at the US Open. If the trend holds, Alcaraz could be looking at another Grand Slam title. The bigger picture is clear. Tennis is entering a new chapter. Djokovic, once unbeatable, has struggled with injuries all season. Sinner and Alcaraz, both still in their early 20s, are carrying the sport forward. Their head-to-head is now 9-5 in Alcaraz's favor, and each meeting feels like a final before the final. Fans are starting to see their rivalry as the one that will define the next decade, the way Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic shaped the last one. Experts believe the US Open could be their most important showdown yet. The winner would not only take a slam, but also gain the mental edge heading into the rest of the season. For Sinner, it would prove he can handle setbacks and still defend a title under pressure. For Alcaraz, it would confirm his place as the man to beat, the one ready to lead tennis into its new era. And beyond the trophies and rankings, this rivalry is giving tennis something it badly needed: excitement, unpredictability, and the sense that anything can happen when these two step on the court. The stage is set, New York is waiting, and if both Sinner and Alcaraz arrive ready, the US Open could deliver the match of the year.